glad that we were able to make the interview happen. I've been in queue for a while, and so I was like, I gotta make sure I get Johann out to my subscriber base so they can hear it directly from him. But yeah, so, and I guess you've already been given the questions that I have overall. And again, I mean, I kind of look at this more like a conversation than like a set interview, like I'm telling what's going on. Let me hear. But so yeah, let me just get right into it. Again, I just want to, like I said, thank you guys, thank Johann or Mr. Kruger and Johann for being here with us, because as we've already stated, these guys are super busy, and it's really awesome to have them take time out to do these kind of interviews, because obviously it's important for members or potential clients to get that to be able to get that feel and to read. Because I was just telling you Mr. Kruger, that the leadership call that you did, and that you guys, I mean, Johann, obviously you were there as well, that it was really powerful, because you guys really, I think, brought across in that call a level of sincerity that was just like, it actually gave me chills a little bit, with, the thing. And I'm sure you've probably had, dozens and dozens and dozens of these Zoom calls and things like that you've done. But it was, it was really palpable, the feeling that you guys were conveying about the honesty and the integrity, and, doing this for a, for the everyday man, as you stated once, or in one of the quotes that you have on kind of the mission statement. So, but yeah, so again, I really appreciate you guys, and let's go ahead and get the ball rolling. Now I do have, I guess the questions lined up, and we'll just kind of go through them, so I can stay on track. And let's see, where did I have these questions here? 1 second. Sorry, I got a long list of things here, or emails that I'm trying to sift through. All right, but anyways, I mean, again, I just, like I said, want to keep this relatively informal, but the background, so for you, Johann, where are you coming from in the crypto space, or like, I mean, maybe just in general, like what your background is?
Okay. I was actually still in school. Was it standard 9? When my dad started a small MLM company, an offline business. We promoted a little booklet that, gave information about how personal finances, how to save, that type of thing. And that was, on a referral, sort of a referral network system. And in those days, my dad used to, do all of the admin in Microsoft Word. And the company just exploded, membership-wise, and that drove me to go and study computer programming. And that's what I did. Came back and actually wrote the software for that business. And, we ran that company for about 7 or 8 years, maybe a little bit longer, until such point that the South African Post Office couldn't handle all the envelopes, the booklets that needs to be posted. And eventually we had to close the business down. And from there onwards, I've been dabbling online, in various companies, various investments. I still had a computer company in town. And in 2015, January 2015, I got introduced to Bitcoin. I bought my first Bitcoin, I think it was $185, somewhere in that range. And literally 3 or 4 months later, I closed down my computer company. Now I was full-time into anything Bitcoin.
I hear you, man. It's
basically, been involved in various companies and investments, all Bitcoin related. Here and there, we made some very good money, and at the other end lose a lot of money. And that's basically what drove me, that basically was the foundation for MTI. You know, I came to a point where if I got involved in something, especially with a referral system or a networking system, that I did not tell anybody, for the fear of loss, disappointing others. And, because it happened just once too often. You get all your friends and family involved, and somewhere down the line, everything goes belly up, and then you have to look those people in the eyes.
Right.
And so in February last year, 2019, something similar to that happened again, and a bunch of my friends at the golf club, we decided, actually, they were complaining, and I decided I'm going to build something that, if possible, could take care of this problem. We can have a sustainable business with a good product or a service that won't let my friends down. That was the intention from the start. And a month or two later, these couple of guys were doing well, and they started promoting and sharing, and eventually it ended up being a proper referral company with commissions and all of that what we have today. From the get-go, it was not really the intention. The intention was just to have a trading system for the small group of us, to make some money, increase our Bitcoin. And, over the last 9 or 10 months, we developed into what we have today.
Now, that's definitely, it's really interesting. And yeah, as you said, with it's happened all too often. I mean, obviously you can imagine as a budding, crypto YouTuber, I have certainly danced with the devil a few times when it comes to, as you said, I mean, like the kind of stigmatism that comes along with being involved in not only cryptocurrency, but then, platforms that are, unfortunately, the bottom falls out, for sometimes unintended reasons, right? It's not initially their intention to run off, or whatever, the exit as it goes. But that, again, it's great, to know that there are, more and more companies that are starting. It's still far and few in between, but companies that are, really establishing themselves with a level of integrity that, can just change the bad taste that so many people have in their mouth from, getting involved. And obviously there's a lot of new people still yet. I mean, with the whole mass adoption of cryptocurrency in general still taking place, that, hopefully we can have places like, Mirror Trading International that offer from the get-go a place that people can start off without having to be traumatized. I mean, literally, because I can say myself, I've been, quite traumatized and had to, pull myself up by the bootstraps or whatever to get myself back in gear after, taking a hit. So, that's really great to hear, it's basically, you kind of explained, what the second question was, just kind of the backstory of MTI. But when you initially started MTI, back in, I think it was April of last year, I think we're right at a year, correct?
That's right. Yes.
What was the, I guess, inception date, if there is a specific date?
Well, the company itself was registered on the 30th of April last year, but our first actual trade happened on the 15th of April, 2 weeks prior to, to the company being officially registered.
Gotcha.
And, in those days, it was completely different to what we have today. Our membership was ran, membership and the commissions and everything was ran on an Excel spreadsheet. You know, we started in April. The trading was running, as usual, but the whole membership and referral system and reporting and everything was still being developed. The website that we have now, the back office, we only started using that in, I think it was the 9th or the 12th of August. It took a good 4 months to develop the website, and for many people, they see the start of the company only in August, because that's when we really got our online presence. Prior to that, it was mostly offline.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Essentially, I think that Sean was probably one of the first to, I think he was one of the first to do an interview. I think he did his interview with you before Gary did, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, and then, and of course, I mean, just, especially within our, little crypto YouTuber community, word gets around pretty fast. And strangely enough, I think that, well, not really strangely enough, it's actually pretty understandable why a lot of people brushed MTI off because, and there always are a lot of companies that are popping up, but at that particular time, a lot of things were just popping up. There was Cash FX, which I'm sure you have heard of, is a company, that does Forex trading. And I actually interviewed Huáscar Lopez, who started that company. But anyway, so there were a lot of these type of things that were popping up at the time. And, even myself, I didn't pull the trigger, so to speak, with Mirror Trading International. Well, in hindsight, we're always like, well, I wish I should have, could have done, whatever. But, things happen and play out the way that they do. So I'm still, quite happy with, the position that I'm at. And as I said before, even kind of reorganizing and restructuring my attack, so to speak, with, starting this account with my, on behalf of my son, as, to keep it properly, you know what I mean? So the thing is, though, and so just to get this, I guess, third question out of the way, you guys are using a broker that is, anyways, what's the name of the broker and where are they based that you all are using for your corporate account?
Johann?
Okay, let me answer that one, and there's a reason why I'm going to answer it in the way that I'm doing it. When I started with Johann Steynberg in September last year, I actually came into Mirror Trading on the 16th of September. So when we started, the broker's name and everything was public knowledge. And we didn't have a problem with that. But as the group started growing, we had a lot of people that started phoning the broker personally, and then asking questions about Johann, the CEO, and the company, and so on. Now, it's like me phoning your bank and asking your bank regarding personal information about you.
Right.
Which is actually illegal and not allowed to be given. So the arrangement that we've got with the broker is that we don't publish their names. We're not allowed to.
Gotcha. Okay.
Although it is public knowledge, we're not allowed to publish it. And that will then, on the other hand, bring the broker, because the brokers, these guys have been in the market for more than 10 years in the Forex markets. So they are not, it's not a Mickey Mouse new broker that just stepped out and now wants to make a name. These are big guys. We are small fish in this big pond. And we must respect them as a company. And that's why at this stage, what we're trying to do is we go with the corporate governance that comes in and the internal auditing and everything that's going to happen inside of the company itself. All that information, or the relative information that the people need on the outside, that will be supplied in media statements, public statements that everybody will have.
Gotcha.
But we've asked the broker actually to send us a list of the people that actually harass the broker. And they will have a problem in the future, because there's a possibility in our terms and conditions, if you read it, our corporate governance documents, it states that you're not allowed to contact the traders or the broker or anybody that's to do with the, let's call it the intellectual property of Meridian. It's like we call it the KFC recipe. I mean, you want the KFC recipe? Sorry, it's not available. And this is our recipe. That's Johann's, actually not ours. It's Johann's recipe. So I'll be guarding Johann's recipe. Why? Because it works. And
so I totally get it. I mean, again, it really saves a lot of a headache. Just as you said, that they are having to deflect questions, that they're not at liberty to give out. And it just, so totally understandable.
In the moment that you phone a bank and say, listen, I want some information on this guy, and the bank says, no, we're not allowed to give it. It's like, now something sounds, it's not wrong. It's illegal to give out that information. So we do not want to put the broker in that position to break the law.
Gotcha.
And we've got a brilliant relationship with that broker, and we definitely want to keep it there.
Okay, well, and so, I'll be sure then not to even, in the future, because I haven't, at least in a public way, mentioned that. I think I maybe once have said the name in videos like months ago or something like that when I was made aware of it. But for good reason. That's totally understandable, because again, it prevents a lot of headache overall with people knowing that, that's the one. Okay, let me go and check and see if, like you said, I can go and basically go around Mirror Trading International and then try to become a direct, client of them ourselves, and so on and so forth. But okay. And then also I wanted to ask, I guess I remember, I think this was the Satoshi show that you guys did an interview with them, and then Gary was on there as well. But I do remember, and you also mentioned it too, Johann, about your being a programmer. Now, initially, were you had you set up the bot? Was there a bot, so to speak, in the early stages before changing over to, this company that's doing it? Or are you involved with the, in terms of the, if it's a bot, I guess that you're saying, I think that initially you guys were using, is that still being used by the broker? So if you can explain that, I guess.
Yeah. So we have, let me start this way. When MTI started in April, we actually had human traders trading for us. And that lasted for about 3 months. They did very well in the first 2 months. And the third month, they lost anything between 20 and 80% of the members' funds, depending on at what time frame you became involved. Luckily, our membership count was relatively small, about 350, 400 people. So we could sustain that, and eventually I made deals with each and every member that, whatever's left in your brokerage account, transfer it to the pool, and we'll work that money back. And by December, I think 97 or 95% of all members that lost money actually made a profit. So it took a bit of time, but we worked that money back. In around about July, early August, that's when we started using the bot, after I fired the human traders. So we got the bot and started using that. I'm not the programmer of the bot. So it's a company set. It's also not the broker. So, we have the brokerage that gives us access to the Forex market. We use their MT4 software, MetaTrader 4 software on our traders side. They run the bot on that, which links back to the broker. And then MTI's got a relationship with both the broker and with the bot creators and the traders.
Okay. So, and again, but then you yourself were not a part of the creation of that bot in particular?
No, of the bot, nothing. That software was written. Well, it's an ongoing process, but they started developing it 2 years prior to MTI even getting involved with it.
Gotcha.
or knowing about it. I was heavily involved in the programming of the back office, the compensation plan, that type of thing, but not on the trading side.
Okay. Yeah. No. Anyway, just to clarify, because I mean, again, there, well, I guess is information out there with regard to your having programmed the bot or whatever. So, but anyways, good. Like I said, I'm happy to get a lot of this stuff clarified for myself and obviously for other people who are curious. Okay, so with the in terms of, and I guess Mr. Kruger, you can explain to this because I think you spoke on this in that last leadership's call. But in terms of being compliant with the regulators that you all need to be in South Africa, and I guess it doesn't really matter. It's not that it doesn't matter, but it doesn't pertain that you guys just have to be compliant within South African law. And so with respect to dealing in BTC, can you explain to people how, you're dealing with, it's, Bitcoin going in and Bitcoin getting paid out, but obviously, it's, you guys are not having, crypto trades taking place or anything like that. But so if you want to expand on that or touch on that.
Yeah, I think one of the most important thing is to remember that we are operating basically bona fide. So let's put it this way. We've covered every single piece of legislation in South Africa that we need to cover. We've looked at all the regulations in South Africa that we need to cover. So all the legislation has been covered. But because we're now moving over to corporate governance, that means basically that we are operating in bona fide, and we'll release the public statements then as we progress with the corporate governance. Now, with that also, we as in corporate governance, there will be auditing as well. And that means the business, including the structures, the processes, the legislations, the regulations, all requirements will then be basically audited, and then we will publicly go out and say, this is what the audit gave us, and this is what we are regulated with, and this is what we need to do, and this is what you need to do. So by the time that we get to that point that we can actually open up and say worldwide what is needed, this is basically what we need to do. I mean, as Johann said, the company started with a couple of friends, and in Johann's own words, if I may quote it on the Satoshi show, is when Gary asked him, he says, what is your vision? He says, well, 1 million people. And suddenly there was quiet. Now, if you think it, we are still in infants. We've got under 50,000 people in the company, so it means 20%. That's the target of the company is 1 million people. So the company itself is 1 year old, which is still in infancy. We have complied with all regulations and all legislations that we have available to us. But what's going to happen from here onwards, we cannot speculate on it. We'd rather say let the corporate governance structure get in place and get basically placed and sorted. And from there on, then we can publicly announce everything very simple and clear, including all trading structures and everything that we are able to publicly announce to you guys.
And so, but again, to well, I guess on that specific, like in terms of the fact that you all are paying out in Bitcoin. Well, and I think that there was talk, maybe even on that particular, interview on the Satoshi show, but that someone had mentioned about you all potentially having the ability to use other cryptocurrencies. If I recall, I'm maybe just making that up, but I guess I can ask that on my own. Is there plans to do any other cryptocurrencies in terms of people can deposit, whatever, Ethereum or there's something like that?
See, with the brokerage that we're using, I think they have 5 options, 5 different cryptos as a base currency, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, I think Ripple, and something else. There's 4 or 5. So from my side, I do have the option to say, okay, let's start Ethereum trading as the base currency, or Litecoin, or whatever the case may be. But that's something I'm really considering, but it will be in the future somewhere. The system, if you think at the current MTI system, so you've got your income wallet, you've got the trading, you've got your whole referral or binary structure, all of that. And all of that programming is Bitcoin based.
Right.
So to bring in, let's say, Litecoin, it's basically a duplication of everything we have now, and duplicating that just to accommodate a separate or an additional crypto.
Right.
It's something that I'm thinking of in the future, but there's no definite timelines.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, obviously, there's no need, immediate to take immediate action on something like that. But anyway, just curious because I think that obviously we have a lot of more seasoned crypto heads that would be interested in something like that. But and again, I guess where you guys are coming from, that there are a lot of people who are new to this coming in. That most people, if you ask them, who perhaps have not heard much about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin is the first thing that comes out of their mouth naturally, right? As the kind of the grandfather currency of all of the other cryptocurrencies. Okay, well, let me ask then. The other one is that one of the most powerful, appealing parts of MTI is the no fees thing. Like, people are like, what? No fees? I don't get it. This does not compute. I am having a malfunction, like, processing this. So, yeah, I mean, I guess you guys just basically eat it, with respect to fees. But yeah, I mean, that's a huge thing that it's one of the things that can easily get someone on board. I mean, not to mention that, okay, you don't have to buy any packages and there's none of that, kind of bull. But the no fees thing is like, what? Like, there isn't a fee to withdraw. Whereas, someone could take out, an entire Bitcoin and not get charged a fee on that, which is what I love. Because I mean, I had probably around 2,000 in my account, and I just took out, it was around 1,500 or so to have that flexibility, so I can just do what I needed to do with that, and then was able to get it and then move on about my day, which is, it's so nice. I mean, again, it's just, like I said, unheard of that people are like, oh, you can first of all withdraw your entire capital with no penalty and no fees. So again, it's just like it just blows people's minds. So how are you doing that?
Well, I think the easiest answer would be, MTI generates funds from within. If your one Bitcoin was in the trading account for a couple of weeks, we've made some money on that. And to withdraw that Bitcoin, amongst, on average, we have about 600 to 700 withdrawals a day. Some big amounts, some small amounts, but there's a whole batch of withdrawals on a daily basis. And, if I take that whole batch, let's just.
Oh, hey, hang on a sec. You just dropped. Hang on, Johann. You dropped out.
Might be my earphones. Let me just switch just a second.
Did he drop out on your side too, Johann?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish they can make ask Tesla to make a battery that lasts in the earphones.
Yeah, no doubt. I've got a little Bluetooth actual, which I've done before too, and I totally screwed up one of these Zoom calls that I had because it cut off, and then it, I guess, switched to my mic, but yet on the Zoom it didn't switch, and then so for the last 30 minutes of the call, I could hear coming out of the monitor speaker that I had, but then on the recording there was like no sound. So, but anyways, though, I think we're good.
Yeah. Yes. Can you hear me again?
Yeah, I got you now. I got you. But no, so going back to just those fees, things like, so you guys are earning enough to take the hit basically on the withdrawal.
Yeah, in my mind, if we, let's say I'm doing a withdrawal batch of 50 Bitcoin, MGI made good money out of that 50 Bitcoin while it was in the system. And to spend $10 to pay everybody or $20 to pay everybody, that's, what is 50 Bitcoins in dollar value today? It's $500,000 or close to that. To spend $20 or even $30, it's a minute charge, and rather to burden the member, we just take the hit for that.
Hey man, so let me give you a hug, man. We love you for that, dude. Yeah, I mean, because that's a big deal, man. Withdrawal fees can just be, I mean, especially, if you are, someone who doesn't have a lot of Bitcoin, you're just not used to it. I mean, when people are like, their eyes are opening up, like, how much I'm going to pay? God, it's $8, golly, so it's nice.
I think because it comes through as a batch, our typical withdrawal batch is about anything between 30 and 50 Bitcoin at a time. It's paying $20. Even the little guy that's withdrawing, I don't recommend it, but it happens. The guy's withdrawing $10. If I were to charge him $5 for that withdrawal, I don't think it's fair. And, if I take the vast number, let's say we do 600 withdrawals in a day times $5, it's basically I'm making money out of you withdrawing. That's not right.
Right.
Because it doesn't cost me $3,000 to do that withdrawal or to run that batch.
Yeah, no, again, so I mean, just to, give people the comparison, and not to throw them under the rug because I still have an account with them. But again, going back to CashFX, it's a 20% withdrawal fee of your, and again, the other thing is that, I think that people need to be sure that they understand is that you all do all of your evaluation, or not evaluation, but, quantifying in BTC. It's not like, okay, you've got $1,000 in the account and then BTC shoots up like, 12% or whatever. You still have that on some other, platform. You still have $1,000. You don't have that increase in the value. So that's the beautiful thing, again, that people, just people don't quite get it. They're so used to dealing with, stable currencies as, stable to some degree, like the dollar or other fiat currencies, but that people don't get it. And okay, yeah, it works the opposite way too, but you still have, that amount of BTC, yes, it could work out the opposite way that you have $1,000 and then BTC drops, but yet you still have that $1,000. Okay. But however, though, it's nice. The fact that you do get that extra, increase and you get paid on that, in the event that
it cuts both ways, and I think it's a bit nerve-wracking for people new in the crypto space. They'll buy Bitcoin today and tomorrow it takes a 10% knock, and they're in panic stations all over. But for people involved in the crypto industry long enough, we know it's a regular thing. It goes up and down.
Yeah, and
I actually on our new presentation, I put in a graph showing from 2014 to to now 2020, and each year I took the highest price of Bitcoin in that year, and it's like a roller coaster. It's it will make anybody very scared if you look at that. But take the opposite, 2014 to 2020, and take the lowest Bitcoin price of each year. You see a gradual increase. It's a very nice graph to look at. So it's all about the perception, what Bitcoin can do, and how you look at it. If you look at it at that point of view, it's steady growing upwards for the last 6-7 years.
Yeah, when you zoom out,
that's the mindset.
When people who are, it happens for all of us who are very much immersed in crypto, that we're looking at the graphs like this. We're looking at the, but when you do the whole pull away thing, you're like, oh, aside from the December of 2017, that was like the, I won't say even the golden years, because obviously there's still so much explosive, forecasted explosive growth. But that, people have to zoom out and see the bigger picture. So anyways, though, but I guess that also kind of segues me into first let me ask about the minimum, just to go over that right quick, because you recently, and again on that leadership call, brought to someone asked you, I guess, or whatever it was, but about what the minimum withdrawal, not minimum withdrawal, but deposit to effectively activate your account, in terms of, because as people may not know, that your account will be deleted after 7 days if you haven't made a deposit. And if you've come in there and just signed up and just kicking the tires, as to not take up space, your account is deleted. But the minimum, it used to be a $50 deposit, if I'm not mistaken, to keep the account. You didn't have to have 100 in there, but you had to have 50 to keep it active. Is that correct or no?
There's a couple of versions of this, but this is now the official info. We recommend a minimum of $100 in Bitcoin. Pretty soon, I'm actively programming it as we speak. It's not done yet, but very soon it will be. That, let's say Mr. Kruger only have $50 in his account. He will still receive the daily trading bonuses, because his money is in the trading pool and it's earning. Whether it's 1% on $1,000 or 1% on $1, his account, his funds will receive the trading benefit. In the commission structure, in the binary structure, where many of the referrers got a bit annoyed, is somebody would sign up 3 or 4 or 5 people in the binary, each with $10, but his account only qualifies him to earn 10 levels deep. So now, that small amount is actually blocking him. So from a programming point of view, what I'll be doing is anybody with less than $100 in their account, they can still participate, but they won't form part of the binary calculation. So the referrers would be happy, and the guy that doesn't have $100 now, he can participate. Although we do recommend $100, but yeah.
Okay, so then essentially, before it was, at least in terms of the minimum to be active in the trading pool, was $100.
Actually not. If you funded your account with $1, that account is active and earning. So that opened up. In South Africa, we had a lot of guys depositing 50 Rand, which is about $3, $2.50, and literally hundreds of people signing up with that.
And that could be added to the trading. They could do the internal transfer from the activation wallet, send that to the trading wallet.
Yes. So they were active in trade with $2.50 or $3.
Wow.
And for the networkers, that caused a bit of a problem, because now they have 100 people and they don't really earn enough levels deep out of that small amount. So pretty soon in the near future, we'll have those small accounts, less than $100, not form part of the binary calculations.
Gotcha. Okay. And yeah, I mean, that's an explosive update to say the least, because yeah, I don't know in what material I had seen it written or whatever, maybe in one of the videos, the official videos that were coming out, where, you know, you have the female voice who kind of does the voiceovers for a lot of those animated videos, but that I think it was stated probably there that, you know, you needed to have $100 to activate your trading pool, and then $200 to activate your binary if two of those,
that's right,
of those two, they had at least $100 in the trading, or well, they had at least $100 in their account.
Johann can correct me, but I think this came into effect with the new terms and conditions now.
That's correct.
2 weeks ago or so.
That's when a lot of us tried to convince Johann to, please, let's get rid of these guys with the small monies. Personally, I come from an investment point of view. So as an investor, if somebody doesn't have $1,000 or $10,000, I mean, they're not really investing. And that's when this man down here with the big heart came in, and he says, listen, I want to help everybody. Even if a guy comes in with $5, we'll help him. So what Johann said from the beginning is, if you do not have $100 in your account, you're still in trade. Now, if you want to refer somebody, you are also allowed to refer somebody. But now what Johann said, and that actually made sense for me, because we're trying to help people. So with the system, then, if you have less, say you've got $20 in your account, and you now refer somebody and that person puts in $300, that means you get a $30 referral bonus on that person. Now then, Johann, all he does is he takes that referral bonus of $30 and he splits it in half. So 50% of that $30 goes into your own trading pool. So he's growing your pool for you. And the other $15 is available for you to withdraw. So the guys can now refer, earn some cash in the pocket, and grow their pool. And the moment they get to $100 in their trading pool, it means that now they have access to 100% of that referral bonus, either to withdraw or to compound back into their trading pool. So, no, Johann won't let anybody go if it gets to the point of, when he says, I want to help everybody, it means everybody.
Yeah, that again is the flexibility is just unparalleled. This is why, well, I mean, again, like I said, I don't want to say, I wish I had, or, in hindsight, this and that, because, for people that are listening to the video or that will be listening to this, I mean, again, I don't think people understand how unique and uncommon what you guys are doing is. I mean, not only is it uncommon and unique, but how the flexibility of this kind of stuff, like, it really does allow for the average everyday person, because a lot of people aren't going to be coming into this as investors, quote unquote, that they are, people who are trying to find out, another way out of the rat race to an extent, and that they can, well, hopefully become driven enough to learn, because again, with all this kind of stuff you do, there is some level of knowledge that needs to be, attained with respect to understanding the program and so on and so forth. But again, I mean, I'm just so excited, even myself, like hearing this, information that I already knew for the most part, but just hearing it again, I just get like genuinely excited. Like I was telling Johann or Mr. Kruger, just like how I was kind of like with, goosebumps on another particular point about how, you guys' level of integrity. And I guess this goes along with that, but just that you guys are really trying to present this to people who need it the most. Not only present it to people, but design it for people who need it the most. So it's just, it's awesome. What else was I going to say? So it is a 10% bonus or a 10% commission that you get off of your referred person's deposit.
That's correct. Yes.
For each of their deposits that they make, when they initially go in, and then, after they make another deposit, like any deposit you get from a direct refer, you get 10%.
Okay. There's a once-off 10% referral bonus.
Right.
But I've also implemented a high watermark level, basically just to make sure that people don't abusing the system.
So now I had actually asked that about the high watermark. I guess explain that. I mean, I think I already have some idea, but I guess so they can hear it clearly from you. But I guess you won't earn a commission if they haven't gone back above that mark.
That's right. So let's take assume you deposited let's say $100. Your upline received a $10 referral bonus. Now your trading balance and your high watermark is at $100. If you withdraw $50, your high watermark will remain at 100, but your trading balance will be down to 50. So if you now deposit $50 again, you're only equaling your high watermark. So there's no referral bonus.
Gotcha.
But if you deposited, say, $60, your trading balance is now 110. It's 10 more than the 100 high watermark. So there's only a 10% commission
on that
or bonus payable on that $10,
right,
which would be $1.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that good. Very clearly explained. Yeah, I mean, again, I've seen it referring to the official, video materials that you guys had out, that there was one video that explained that, but I think that was even more clear right there. So thank you very much for that. What else to the, I guess we already talked about this, the minimum balance for the, let me go back to this about the, I guess that we've already talked about it, because I was going to ask if someone has $100 in, which was the threshold for the trading pool. Well, now that's kind of blown out of order. My question, I was going to ask if, BTC's value drops. So never mind, that's irrelevant now at this point.
The only time BTC price does have a influence is on the weekly binary run. You need to have $200 in your trading account, one referral left, one referral right, with a minimum of 100 to qualify for binary bonus.
Okay.
Let's say you have $200 exactly in your account. Now the price drops by 10%, the Bitcoin price 3 or 4 or 5%. Now for that Saturday morning during the calculation, your account is on 195. You will be skipped over in that binary run for that week. So it's for me. If I were in the position, I'd always try to make sure that I've got at least 10% more than the actual level that I'm trying to be binary qualified as. If you're a $200 membership, or try to have 220 in your account, then something really drastic has to happen on the Bitcoin price during that night to make that you're not binary qualified.
Okay.
If you're earning 20 levels deep, you need $1,000 minimum. Rather have 1 in your account or 1-2, just to make sure if the price does fluctuate a lot during the night, that you're still qualified.
Okay, and so I guess, and this leads me into some of the, going into the bonus, essentially the bonus is binary bonus, and the leveling and the leadership. So let me, I guess, try to keep it, like organized. So when you are binary qualified, what does it mean in terms of the leveling? Like, you get paid on based on the amount that you have in there. How many levels does that correlate with, or whatever?
Yeah, if you look at the binary structure, you get paid on the Bitcoin value of your weaker leg.
Right.
And so you can have you on top, your weaker leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 levels deep. So if you have a $200 account, you qualify 10 levels deep. So it can be one person on level 1, literally 2 on level 2, 4 on level 3, and so on. So there's a lot of room there. If people tend to think 10 levels deep is not that much, but if you fill up the binary structure, there can be a lot of membership count members in that weaker leg. So $200 to $1,000, you earn 10 levels deep.
Gotcha.
I think it's 1,000 to 5,000 is 20 levels, and 5,000 to 10,000 is 30 levels, and then anything above $10,000 in terms of Bitcoin value, then it's infinite levels deep.
Gotcha. All right, that makes it very clear. Awesome. The other, again, going into the leadership bonus pool. How does that work? Like, what determines the shares that you get? I guess I'll start with that.
Easiest would be, if you have a direct referral with $200 in his account, and that person has one left, one right, also with $200. So in this direct, it's your direct and his or hers 1 and 2 direct.
Okay.
So to make him sort of binary qualified with 200, 200, 200. If you have that structure with your 1 direct, you earn 1 leadership.
Well, I guess what I mean to say is, does it have to be, when I say direct, meaning his immediate, leg left and right? Though, if let's say, for example, only one on the right side has 200 below your referral who does have 200, and then on the right they have 200, and then on the left they're below 200, but they have a few other people who are at 200. That doesn't work.
Yeah, in that case, it won't qualify.
Okay.
He needs to have 1 direct left, 1 direct right. Well, you can have 100 directs left and right, but at least one of them on each side wants to have a $200 minimum. Then he qualifies for 1 share.
Okay. So wait, sorry, explain this again. Now, the 1 share, again, is determined by, again, someone.
By that little structure, you've got your direct, and he's got 1 direct and 1 direct. So this little structure will earn you 1 share in the leadership 1 bonus pool.
Okay, and then
you can have multiple structures like that.
And so a second share would essentially mean that happens again underneath, right directly underneath that first trinity.
Can I explain it to him this way? Look at it this way.
Sure.
You know what is binary qualified? Binary qualified means that you've got $200 in your account, and you've directly sponsored 2 people, 1 left, 1 right, with $100 each. Then it means you're binary qualified. Now you can earn on the left or right leg, or it all depends on the volume in that leg. So that's binary. Now, if you want to qualify for what we call leadership, leadership means $200 in your account and $200 in each of the 2 people that you referred personally. That qualifies you to earn on your leadership bonuses, but it doesn't mean you're earning that share yet. Now, let's take your left person. The moment that your left person qualifies as a leadership qualified, it means he's got $200, and the 2 people he directly referred has got $200 each. That is called 1 share. So every time one of your direct referrals become leadership qualified, you earn a share.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Just trying to get I mean, yeah, I could share my screen and kind of show people. And I don't know, maybe if you guys don't mind, maybe I'll do that. I'll show just right quick. And I know we said it at an hour and basically we're pretty much done. But if you guys have a minute to do that, for me to kind of show.
Unfortunately, we're quite pressed for time as well. We're jumping onto other meetings just after this.
Okay. Well, anyway, so yeah, we'll go ahead and ultimately, I mean, I think we explained it very well. I mean, even just like visually with the fingers and all that, and, you know, we can get people to, you know, to understand that. And I guess just to get my last question about the, when people are using the auto referral link, will that systematically place people efficiently so you're filling the inner legs and so on and so forth? Or, okay, no, you're already saying no. No. Okay.
Remember,
what it will do, sorry, Johan,
yeah.
The auto placement, I just need to do something there programmatically, but at the moment you have one left and one right, you know, I would recommend you manually, you know, sign up this guy, give him a left link, sign up that guy, give him a right link, or assist him during the sign up process. But once you have one left, one right paid members, you can use the auto placement link, because then it will always, upon registration, go and look which of your legs is the weaker leg and place that person in that weaker leg. So from MTI side, we will always, if you use your auto placement link, always build your weaker leg, and
But
that's the leg
place,
we can get paid on.
But will it fill in on the, if you, I mean, I'm sure you know what I mean about the inner parts.
No, it's always just outside legs.
Gotcha.
It does not build the inside legs.
Gotcha.
Remember that basically is the big difference between having a what we call a matrix network system or having a referral. Because if your link is used, your referral means it's either your left or your right. It does not mean it's somebody else's left or somebody else's right. So that means your auto link will always place a person either on your left or your right, depending on the volume in that leg.
At the weaker side.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And that also pushes your teamwork a little bit, because if you want to fill in the spots in the middle, it means you have to give this person that you want to sign up,
right,
the person where you want him in the inside leg. So the more you give, the more you'll get.
Yeah, and that's what you know. Really, again, you know, with the honestly, the leadership of, again, you guys know Luke, who I'm talking about, LUC. I think, yeah, but he, yeah, he's been very helpful with explaining and, you know, educating how to do it properly. You know, to where, yeah, I was like, oh, okay, let me be sure, you know, because I think like I'd like to think of myself as a person who is giving and all of that, but yeah, it really like it asks of you, you know what I mean, to get the most out of it, and you're helping someone else out to literally give your referrals to other people to place them in the proper placement. Hey, so anyways, though, we are 4 minutes over our hour mark. Well, at least that we had planned for this. So, you know, like I said, I don't want to hold you guys up, but yeah, I mean, this was powerful for sure. I mean, for me, and to answer a lot of questions that I think, you know, the average person, or not only the average person, but people who are already members are are curious about, and will be curious about, you know, that I can refer them to this video. So, hey, gentlemen, muchas gracias. You know, and all that. I don't know how you say like thank you in Afrikaans.
Buy a donkey.
Buy a donkey.
Buy a donkey. Buy a donkey. Then that's all I'm gonna say. It's been awesome. But yeah, I hope to you know, see more of you guys. I'm gonna, you know, because I'm going so many different ways myself with all kind of projects and, you know, things that you know, keep me busy with Zoom calls and so on and so forth. But you know, I want to try to make it to more of you know, the Zoom calls that you guys are in attendance for. And is there one that I should know about that you guys are doing on a somewhat regular basis I'm sure Luke will tell me. I mean, I guess I can just ask him.
From a corporate point of view, we don't do any. That's in the planning, maybe do one a month or so, but that's still in the planning stages. But there's, just like yourself, numerous, probably 50 or 100 or more members that do calls.
Right.
In the future, we'll have those presenters vetted and links to things, to Zoom calls placed in the back office.
I always like to hear, straight from the horse's mouth and all that. So, but yeah, no, we've got great leaders in the system, and I'm really proud to have connected with the ones that that I'm with. So, anyways, though, gentlemen, again, thank you so much, and yeah, we'll be catching up again real soon.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
All right, take care.